Hi there, my name is Tatiana and you're watching YouTube channel You Can. Today is May 1, 2024 and I will be showing you how to make a lilac honey today. So why combine honey and herb, in this case lilac flowers? Because honey has a tendency to draw out various minerals and vitamins and aromatic properties of the plant that's put into it. So when we put lilacs into honey, we essentially get lilac honey, which is phenomenal in taste, but also it carries the benefits of the lilac. So in order to make a lilac honey, you need lilacs, or you can use any herb for that matter, violets or a bee balm or rosemary, basically anything that you think may taste good with honey. And then I like to use glass jars, and I'm using like a pint-sized jar because I don't want to strip my entire plant of lilacs. I totally would make a gallon-sized jar of lilac honey, but not with this size of a plant that I have. But basically I'm picking individual little flowers and popping them into my jar. And it's okay if they have these, like this side, these little ends. Those are perfectly fine to put into the honey as well, into the jar that you will then pour honey into. And I don't want to pick just from one spot and make like one entire side bare. So I'm just going to be hopping around around these clusters and picking flowers from all over the place. So the best time to pick aromatic herbs for any kind of infusions is in the morning, because as the day goes on and the sun heats up the plant, you lose a lot of the aromatic properties of the plant because they do get fatigued in the sun. So morning time is the best because all the aromatic properties are still here and you will have a much more aromatic infusion from flowers picked in the morning versus flowers picked in the evening. So herbal honeys can be made both out of fresh and dry herbs. And when you make herbal honey with fresh herbs, you have to keep in mind that honey does have moisture drawing kind of property, so that after about 3 days of infusion, the honey will become much more thin because it has drawn out so much moisture from your fresh herb. You will not get that when you're using dry herbs because obviously they have been dehydrated and they don't really have any moisture for the honey to draw on. So there is something to consider as well with using fresh herbs for herbal honey is botulism. Now there's a lot of different schools of thought out there. Is it safe? Is it not safe? Now here's the thing. You have to have just the right amount of moisture and just the right type of acidity for botulism to grow. So, if the honey is not acidic enough and you have, just a little bit more moisture from your fresh herbs, botulism could definitely develop. So some things to do to avoid that is once you pour the honey into your fresh herb, and you give it a good shake, a good stir, and leave it on your counter for a couple hours for that honey to work itself into the plant material, you put it into your refrigerator. That's one way to safeguard against botulism. And another way is just not to make fresh herbal honeys, but I really like fresh herbal honeys, and so far so good. Haven't had any problems with that, but if that's something that you're concerned about and don't want to risk, that's definitely up to you to kind of be mindful of and do what floats your boat. So people don't usually think of lilacs as being medicinal. Lilacs are flowers, and put into bouquets and they smell wonderful, and maybe you would think of perfume when you think of lilacs. But the reality is that lilacs are actually highly medicinal. They have big antidepressant qualities. They're also good digestive tonic. They also are astringent to the skin, so basically they help tone the skin and the pores. So I mean, they have lots of different medicinal uses besides the aromatic goodness of them and the loveliness of their looks. I have a full jar of lilac flowers, and it is time to pour the honey in. So now that we have our lilac flowers in the jar, it's time to put honey in. Now, generally I have local honey, but this time I have honey from Canada. My husband is actually from Canada, and some of our friends gave us honey from Canada. That's why I am not using local honey this time. But basically, what I'm doing is I am putting honey right over the flowers, and I will give it a stir here to mix the honey in and make sure that it covers all the parts of the flowers. But I'm using a fork to put this honey in here because a fork is easier to lick after you're done than a spoon is, and it's easier to get all the honey off the fork rather than from a spoon. I do not like to waste honey. It is such a precious resource. Honeybees travel great distances to collect the tiniest amounts of pollen that will turn into droplets of honey, and I do not like to waste it in the very littlest bit even. So I have, I don't know, about maybe up to half a cup of honey in here right now. And what I will do is I will put this fork here for now. So I like to use a chopstick because it's thin and it can get in between the herbs and stir really well. So I will stir around until I see that all the lilac flowers have been coated with honey. All right, so that looks like they're really well mixed. I will not be adding more honey. I mean, if you wanted to, you could add honey until this jar was full, but I am not going to. There's a couple things to remember. The honey will draw moisture out of the lilac flowers, so the consistency of the honey will be a lot thinner after a couple days of infusion. So I'm not going to add more honey in here. I will just cover this with the lid, and I will label it. I'm going to use my crafter's tape, and basically what I'm doing is I'm writing what's in the jar. So I write lilac flowers plus CA Canadian honey, and today is May 1, 2024. Labeling is very important because time will pass and you will forget when you made this and what exactly is in it. So there, I have that, and what I will do is I will leave that out on my countertop, but out of direct sunlight for 1 to 4 days, and generally that's enough of time for the honey to get infused with the lilac flavor, and that will be it. So lilac honey uses, how do you use it? You can eat it just like honey, like you would, like maybe you put it on toast, or take a teaspoon of honey But honey has very expectorant properties. It helps soften up and loosen up mucus in the lungs. So if a person has like a deep, raspy cough, honey alone on its own can really help loosen up things and get that mucus out of there. But when you infuse it with lilac flowers, all the properties of the lilac flowers, like the, antidepressant qualities, digestive system tonic, that is in the honey as well. So, you can take a little bit of the honey, like half a teaspoon or a teaspoon prophylactically, or you can just eat it like you would just regular honey. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.